Nice.
Great way to start it off.
Did we
That's
just
how we
open the
start.
con that way?
Exactly.
Good job.
Great.
So anyway, welcome to the second Onyx Path virtual gaming convention. I'm Rich Thomas, founder and creative director of Onyx Path Publishing, and we have a fun panel here today, including our entire Onyx Pathcast crew, who will be recording, and this will appear on an Onyx Pathcast in the near future.
This meeting is being recorded.
So, without further ado, let's introduce everybody. I will start with impish Ian Watson.
Oh no.
You may have heard of.
It's Rich, the rest of the gang, and Ian. Hi, I'm the community manager for Onyx Path Publishing and the content lead for the Trinity Continuum. And we've also got Dixie.
Hi, I'm Dixie Cochran. I'm the in-house developer for Chronicle of Darkness and Exalted. I'm one of the hosts of the Onyx Pathcast, and I am the lead developer for the Onyx Path. So I do a little bit of poking everywhere. We've got Eddie, who's unmuted, so I'll let him talk next.
My name is Eddy Webb. I am one of the in-house developers here at Onyx Path, and I'm also responsible for our Story Path games, as well as the co-owner of Pugmire. And Matthew.
And I'm Matthew Dawkins. I'm the World of Darkness in-house developer, along with They Came From and the various 5th edition properties that aren't Pugmire. And I also have a little part to play on the media side of things, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the Onyx Pathcast. And it's lovely to be here.
Yay. Thank you, Matthew.
Right, that's it. We can go now.
Cool.
Yep. So now you know who we are.
Yeah.
We've introduced ourselves.
How
Thanks
about
for coming
this?
to the con.
How about this show we've got going? This is our second virtual convention. Last year we really scrambled. We thought this would be a good idea, and I think we put it on in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was kind of short notice, but it seemed like something we just really wanted to do, and we hoped a lot of people would enjoy it. And in fact, a lot of folks were able to attend, but many more said I would have attended if I'd only had a little bit more time to plan it. So this time around, we gave about I don't know, 2 weeks.
No,
I mean, 2 months.
Been a couple
6
months,
weeks?
yeah.
I'd say 2 months, 6 weeks. And I'm hoping everybody who did want to attend the first one now can attend the second one, and we'll be talking at you and playing some games through the whole thing, as well as talking with you. We'll be answering questions in the chat. So if anybody does think of something they want to ask us while we're doing this thing, please do put your question in the form of a question. And
you can actually preface it with the word question, either in all caps or not. That's super helpful. You can also tag me if you really need to, because I'll be probably checking the chat more. But also tag me and say nice things about me. I still think it's funny that when we were planning this last year, we started talking about it. And we were like, well, I hope the idea of a virtual convention won't be obsolete by June.
Well, as we say, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
2020. But
you know what else? You know what else, Rich?
What else, Matthew?
Let me tell you something, brother.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah. All right. Let me tell you something, dude. This convention isn't just for games, Jack. This convention is also for charity, brother. And perhaps you would like to tell the viewers of this here opening ceremony about the charity. And maybe we could get some links posted up into the chat for where people can go to donate to it, should they feel so inclined.
Yeah, that sounds like some great ideas. You've clearly thought this through, unlike the rest of us. So the charity is the Bodhana Group, and the Bodhana Group is a nonprofit organization dedicated to using tabletop gaming, role-playing games, board games, for therapeutic tools. They are an organization of therapists who have done a lot of work with special needs children, and as well as adolescents moving into, how am I supposed to deal with being an adolescent, and using role-playing games to help with that. So you may have been able to listen to the Pathcast crew talk to Jack Barkenstock, who is the one of the founding members and basically the public face of the Bodhana Group last week, right? It was a week ago Friday. Yeah,
right.
So
And that was a great conversation. If you folks are not normally listening to the Onyx Pathcast, I do recommend going and checking out last week's episode, because we not only talk about the Bodhana Group in general and Jack specifically, but also we did some great conversations about therapeutic use of gaming, safety tools, and of course Jack does a great Rich impression. So I mean, it's all worthwhile listening.
Well, I'm only halfway through, so he got to that too, did he?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
But also, Jack's just always a delightful person to talk to. So he is full of joy and interesting things.
And I think he explains the mission, because I mean, it's so integral to who he is. He explains the mission so well. It's one of the reasons why he's the one who's out there convincing people to work with the Bodhana Group, getting grants for the Bodhana Group. I mean, all the things that a nonprofit needs to do. So we're doing our small part to help out with by dedicating a portion of the proceeds to those folks, as we've done, well, really a lot of times in the past. So I've always felt really strongly that role-playing games are fun and entertaining, but they can also touch us in a lot of deeper ways, more integral ways, and that's really what the mission of the Bodhana Group is all about. So if you want more history and information about them, please do listen to that Pathcast, because I think Jack does a great overview, where they come from, why are they doing it, and it's something that says that, you know, role-playing games can be art, and they can be used for something more than the fun that we normally have with them. So it's nice to see our stuff appreciated like that. So what else do we want to talk about here while we're hanging out, gang? We only haven't done this since, I don't know, Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any changes to report, so we can just move on, right?
Right. So,
came out. That's cool.
Aberrant did come out on Wednesday. That's so exciting.
Yes.
I have a copy somewhere that I can
A
hold
long
up.
time coming, huh?
I'm not prepared.
You got a copy? I haven't gotten a copy yet.
I got a copy like weeks ago.
If I go for my copy, I may not get back in this spot correctly.
Eddie, I backed it. That's why.
That's why.
I don't have the rulebook handy.
Oh my God, people!
And I have the GM screen here.
I think my copy is on Neil's desk.
and Rich has. There you go. Well, we can vaguely see it, Rich.
There we go.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's coming out of the shadows, just like me.
Yeah, flickering in and out
and backwards. Is it backwards when you see it, or is it backwards when I see it?
It's forwards when I see it.
We can see it. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something else. On the Trinity Continuum, Rich gave me permission to discuss this in the opening ceremony, because I'm not going to be around for the What's Up with Onyx Path panel this weekend. We've got another Trinity Continuum game in the works. It's not I'm running a game or on a panel. It's fine. It's fine.
It's doing important work.
Well, I'm gonna miss you too. But you know, V5 games, as we know, Vampire got to be run. Closest game to my heart next to Wraith they came from every other game. But Trinity as well, very close to my heart. And I am developing at this time a game called Aether, sticking with that A theme. And it is set in the late 19th century. It is a game that blends, our Trinity Continuum with the War of the Worlds and Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There's a lot of sort of Rube Goldberg machinery logic behind what's going on there, where people become powered through medicines, tonics, devices, and so on. It isn't an internal manifestation thing, at least not so far as anyone knows. There's not global affecting event in Aether. It's scientists, explorers, people who experiment with the fundamentals of reality, who are finding out they can alter reality by essentially spinning it into an existence they picture. And it's very exciting. The team are writing on that right now. And this is our first opportunity to announce it. So here it is, Aether announced. Ian, is there anything you want to say about it, as you are the Trinity head honcho?
So you see the Von Aether username. That was a hint the entire time.
Whoa.
From
Long
all
play.
What a
these
long
years.
game you
Yes.
play.
I
was
played
Von
a long
Aether
game.
all along.
20 years of Von Aether.
H.G. Wells' The
Uh,
Time Machine. The protagonist was, in fact, Ian A.A. Watson.
Who knew?
Ian
Yeah.
I
A.
do.
H.A.G. Watson.
Ian Hagwell. Yeah, thank you.
She's called Hag.
Well,
Or
Yeah,
Aga.
if you're a fan of things like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which pulled together like all sorts of fiction bits from the Victorian period into one bundle, that's basically what we're doing here, except it's part of the Trinity Continuum. So if you like that, you'll like this.
Excellent. Which is not to
Yeah.
not to forget that just tomorrow at 5:00,
Yes.
the first of the new Trinity Continuum games, Anima, will be being play tested for the very first time in public.
I'm ready
And
for this.
I believe Assassins is also at 3:00.
Yes.
Excellent.
So we're gonna have 2 Trinity games going on. Very, very
I'm
soon.
so excited about Anima. I'm excited to show it to people, even though Eddie bought the same glasses I have, so now I can't use that prop because he hates me. But I do, however, have let's see, where are they? I've got robot contact lenses I'll be wearing. So
Ooh,
Nice.
Awesome.
I've got cyber eyes. I am so excited for this game. I remember when we were first talking about it, like forever ago, it feels like, with Dominic, and like seeing the documents and seeing what we were doing with it and all the other stuff, and like I loved the idea, partially because I'm a big fan of VR focused stories in general. Like I've always been a fan of Snow Crash. I like the Tad Williams Otherland series a ton.
Mhm.
So I was really into that part of it. But then when we started talking about the MMO side, like I was a World of Warcraft player for 10 plus years. I've played so many MMOs. Like, because for a while, you know, especially in the aughts, it was like, is this one going to replace Warcraft? Better try it. And so we just like try every single MMO. And I love them. I love all of them. So I was very, very excited to work on this, and I'm very excited to play it.
Did you know that we had to try out every MMO that came out when we were working on the World of Darkness MMO?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
CCP
Some of those weren't good.
would buy it for the entire crew, whatever codes were needed or boxes at the time, and we had to play through. And I remember playing through well, not playing through, obviously, but you know, playing enough of Conan to understand how it worked.
Mhm.
And what was the Warhammer one?
I had friends who worked on Conan because I lived in Raleigh. They were all
Mhm.
Funcom employees.
Yeah.
And there was the Warhammer one. There was we played Old Republic. I remember when it first came out.
Oh, for those in the audience who aren't familiar, there was in the works a World of Darkness MMO, and it was scrapped.
Right.
So I saw concept art for it when I was dating Rose, but
Yep.
that was in 2009.
Or if you look in the Vampire 5th Edition core rulebook.
Yeah,
Right.
I was about to say, yeah.
There's some excellent work that was. So, I mean, some of the concept art was absolutely wonderful. There were a whole. How many were there district pieces, Eddie? 25
Yeah,
location
there's a whole
concept
lot.
art pieces that were just a shot of a location that were sort of to encapsulate how this MMO the various regions could be. But of course, that's all gone now. So, and we worked on that before Onyx Path was created.
Right. If people are really interested in seeing anything about that, if you could find the box set of Kindred the Embrace that came out around 2013.
You mean the box set that we have on our shelf in the other room?
Yes.
That
in
box
the
set?
extras, there is a bit about the upcoming World Darkness MMO in there. So
that hurts.
I know. I watched it recently. It was schadenfreude for me.
Yeah, I remember talking to Rose about it back in the day, being super excited about it because I was playing World of Warcraft at the time. I was a pretty hardcore raider, and I was like, I will switch to this game. I want to play a vampire. That would be so cool. And I did not switch to that game. I kept playing World of Warcraft for several years.
Speaking of
what was the MMO where everybody flew?
City of Heroes?
City of Heroes?
No. This was a fantasy one, and the whole deal was that at a certain point you got your wings, and then you could fly around.
Or something.
I don't remember.
That wasn't Rift, was it?
Maybe Rift.
Eon?
Yeah.
Aeon. Yeah, no, that was
How could I
that
have
was called
forgotten
Aeon.
that one?
Not your Aeon, Ian.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Margani.
understand.
Every Trinity Continuum.
Aeon with an I,
Now you can fly.
not Aeon with an E.
I had a segue. I was saying, speaking of information that doesn't exist anymore or didn't know about, I believe, Matthew, you've been teasing a certain game with redacting certain piece of information. Maybe we want to talk about that?
Let me tell you something, dude. Yeah, it seems I'm getting most of my announcements out of the way on this panel. Not all, but yes.
Well, you can hold
off. So no. Because this will be announced in the brochure that we're intending on releasing today as well. So I should probably clear it now. Although we'll announce it again on future panels. They came from Classified. We released that as the title of a game several months back now. And there's been a lot of conjecture over what the actual title is of They Came From Classified. Because is it a mystery? Is there a name behind the name? What's the subject matter of this? Lots of people have been guessing at things. People have been guessing at, I don't know, They Came From Outer Space, which is available on Drive Thru RPG as a supplement to Beneath the Sea. People were guessing at, who knows, romance adventure, period dramas,
Mr. Darcy,
theatre, noir, musicals, all these various they came from stage left. It could have been anything. But some people, very canny people, did guess correctly that They Came From Classified is also the title of the game. They Came From Classified. It is our spy game. It's our spy movie game, pulling heavily from James Bond, the Avengers, the John Steed, Emma Peel Avengers, obviously, the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the Champions, the Prisoner, definitely. So many. Even going a bit grim and gritty at points with the John le Carré material, the Ipcris file. We've got a lot of different subject matter in here. It kind of fills a period stemming from, I guess, the 60s to the late 70s, because most of these They Came From kind of fit within a certain set of decades worth of cinema. And that Cold is a book that is completely written. Let's have that as the subtitle. There is some Austin Powers in there as well. But that's a game that we managed to keep a lid on for quite a while. It is now in editing, so we've been working on it diligently.
That was hilarious. It's like going, we're not gonna tell you what it's about, and then we just told people what it was about.
So should we tell that story, the title story?
Well,
or do we
so I don't know. Do we want to look like we're clever? So I don't know. We can tell the story. People know we're not clever. So initially, when we knew that we were going to be doing an espionage themed They Came From game. It was going to be the third core, and the big challenge with They Came From Classified was, what are we going to call the damn thing?
The biggest challenge because a lot of the They Came From games is getting a title that doesn't sound sexual in nature.
Came from.
Now some of them can work as innuendos, and arguably a Roger Moore era Bond game could, but this one in particular, for a while we were lingering around things like They Came From Beyond the Iron Curtain or that kind of thing, but it felt a little too serious, a little too John le Carré, because it positioned Russians as the enemy, and we've already kind of done that with Beneath the Sea. They're not the only enemy, obviously, but those filthy commies are one of the brackets of enemies in Beneath the Sea. So we thought about They Came From the secret volcano lair. They came from, and that went too far the other way. That was far too Austin Powers, and so we were dancing around it, and I think it was Eddy in the end said, let's just have it as Classified as a sort of placeholder, or it was one of many suggestions you made at the time, and we just all said, that's it, we're going to do it, and we're not going to we're going to give that out as the title.
Too much effort to try to find a new
without
title.
telling anyone. Yeah, without telling anyone what it is. So who knows what the cover treatment might look like? It may be a classified sticker over an actual title.
That's what I hope it is. I really hope it's
Yeah.
like they came
Then-
from classified, like big
As long as
Yeah.
we don't have to tell, like if it's just parts of letters, we'll be fine. But if we actually have to figure out the title that we have to put the sticker over, then we're in trouble again.
We'll do that.
We could put classified
rude word.
under it, and then classified as a stamp.
Knickers.
We can repurpose those Trinity stickers that went over the Aeon books.
Yeah. Oh, just put it. Continue.
Yeah.
They came from the Trinity.
Trinity.
Bang! Not another one.
No, it didn't. It's classified now. So yeah, it was actually a pretty fun discussion. If it was a little frustrating until Eddy just came up with his brainstorm, and then the rest of us went, "Well, you win."
And the hilarious part was I was being an asshole about it, right? I was like, let's just call it classified and just not worry about the problem. And they're like, yes, great. I'm like, wait, what? I was joking, but okay.
I didn't work.
I remember when I was
for
at
as long as I
school.
did without realizing the value of being an asshole.
Well, I remember when I was at school, teachers would always tell you in creative writing, the last thing you need to come up with is the title. The title matters far less than the content. And that's bullshit, frankly. As far as my creative process goes, I need the title to tell me what's going to be in the book. I can't start working until I know what the title's going to be. And if you change that title later, that's fine. But I still need a title.
Provide you with a
pour
focus.
words.
Yeah.
In.
I think
Yeah,
for me,
exactly.
I feel very differently if it's fiction versus like a rule book. If it's a rule book, you're like, here's what's in this rule book. But if it's fiction, then often you'll like hit upon a phrase while you're writing that makes a good title.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, it really depends on what you're writing. Because like if I'm writing, if I'm writing a textbook, I'm like an algebra textbook, I'm going to call it, algebra 2.
Pomegranate is full and fine. It's a little inside joke.
So,
all right.
I would like to tell people as well who are watching and listening, if you haven't already and you do have some time free this weekend, do check out the website for where all our games are hosted. It should be posted in the Twitch chats shortly, if it isn't already in there, where you can sign up to play in games, where you can sign up to run games if you particularly want to run something at short notice. But there are still games available with slots, and there's lots of games running. You don't need to appear on camera if that's something that you're worried about. Most of these things are taking place over Discord, where they're voice only. So really, it's an opportunity for you to get into a game, very little cost. I think it's the GMs set the cost, and no one is charging the earth to participate in their games. And part of that is going off to charity, so it's for a good cause. So if you've got a few free hours this weekend, games are running all the time, all day, all night. You will find something that you can play in. There's a lot of fantastic GMs who are participating in this. And yeah, as I say, if you want to run Jumpstart, or you've had a game in your head for a while and you just want to run it, and even if you just want to do a simple playtest of some rules, you want to get your head around a game, you can actually advertise a game as, I want to do They Came From Beneath the Sea trial session. Anyone who wants to join in with me just so we can roll some dice and see how the game works, do that too. This is a good opportunity for you to share ideas and have an opportunity to just play around with systems. So
as a segue, folks who have been backing the Exalted Essence Kickstarter and who have enough that they'd like to try out some of the rules that have been revealed to them as backers, that's an opportunity to gather a few people, jump in here with our con and try them out.
I want to see people trying out all the rules that have no charms yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's from what I've been able to
Make it
understand, obviously the charms is a huge chunk, which is why we're taking an entire week to release them.
Yeah, charms.
But there's a lot of stuff in there that a lot of people can play around with, especially since you have all 10 of the Exalted types available in Essence. So they don't have all their charms, but you do have some universal charms already. You could try out with Ox Body technique for all of them and see which one's better. You don't know.
Yeah, I will. Can I talk about the Kickstarter now? Are we at that point?
Yes, sure.
Can I do that? All right.
Or like Onyx body technique. Am I right?
A million.
Ian, why did we let you in the ceremony?
I don't know. I was as surprised as anyone else.
Because of his beautiful hair. Look at that.
True,
That is
true.
so nice.
Either way, we have obviously a Kickstarter going on for Exalted Essence. I've been yelling about it online for 2 weeks now. We're at the halfway point, 12 days to go, like 12 and a half days. And we are about $675 away from another stretch goal. We've had so many stretch goals we've blasted through. We hit 3,100 backers today, which means we're going to be adding some more pledge tiers tonight at 9:00 Eastern.
Nice.
One of the coolest things I think is that it just worked out this way. Our Exalted panel is from 8 to 9. So as soon as that panel's ending, we can count down to those tiers dropping. And those will be for custom charms, which I'm super excited about. I pitched the idea of Essence a couple years ago now. And we wrote a lot of it a little over a year ago, and then we spent the past year playtesting the crap out of it. So if you think something looks like it's broken, it's probably been playtested, but we'll still, listen to feedback in the group there. It did blow my mind actually that today is the 1-year anniversary of our first Essence game that we ever did live.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
It was on the 11th at OnyxPathCon last year. So now we're a year in the future. Monica is running a game of Essence on Sunday. The panel tonight from 8 to 9 is not Essence specific. It's about all of Exalted. So Eric Minton will be there, Alec Freeman, Lauren Roy, myself, and Neil Price. So we'll all be there to talk about Exalted as a whole, because we've done a lot of talking about Essence recently. But definitely tune in and watching Monica's Essence game on Sunday. It's going to feature some cool players, including some people who haven't played before. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to that, including one of our developers, Hiromi Kota, who is playing a totally normal human who does not turn into a spider and wrap people in silk and then suck them out like a Capri Sun.
Totally normal person.
They are a totally normal
Human
person who definitely does not do that.
Hello,
It came
hello,
along
fellow
well with
human
Dr.
person.
Francis Smith, who's also
A totally normal human person?
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Francis Smith is an excellent human being. Does human type things.
Yes, like wear hats.
Yeah, so I know also there are a few Essence
only
games.
way can you get away with it.
I think
Yes.
they're all full at this point. Obviously, those went pretty quick. Because I know that Neil's running one is tomorrow, Sunday. I don't know, sometime. Neil's running an Essence game. It's a Neil game, so the players might juice a monkey. We don't know. And then we also have Elliot running a game called an Excess of Exigence that is an all exigent Essence game, which is really fun to play and fun to talk about. Also, Elliot has created my favorite god and Exalted of all time, who is Sublime Ratio, the mathematician.
Yes.
He's a tiny, tiny moth that is a god of mathematics.
That's amazing.
And has made it exigent. He's a little pink fuzzy moth god of math. So definitely, that's not one we can watch, but I'm hoping that Elliot will let me poke my head in and see what's going on with that one, because I want to play in that one.
Yeah, that's fun.
Sure.
But it went so quick. But yeah, no, I'm super happy with the response so far. A lot of comments on the Kickstarter, which is great, both on the Kickstarter and on the feedback form. And we are listening to people. We are tweaking things as we need to, obviously, but we are also just happy with the reception it's getting so far. Every time I think oh, it's slowing down now, we hit 2 more stretch goals, and I'm like, okay. This is beyond what I could have anticipated. We've had Kickstarters in the past where at this point we're making $70 one day. We have one day that sucks, and so far Essence has not made less than $2,000 a day.
Nice.
Which is awesome. It's got over 3,000 backers, 760% funded.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm pleased as punch, and so is the whole team. We were hoping people would like it, but we didn't realize it was going to quite do this. Now I know how Eddie felt when Bugmire took off.
Right?
Now,
yeah.
The Exalted 3 Kickstarter hit, I think, 1,161%, somewhere around there. So
yeah, it was over 1,000%.
So
and they had about 4,500 backers, 4,600, something like that.
Well, there are different metrics to measure, but just looking at percentages, I think we're on track to possibly match or maybe even beat it.
That would be so cool.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, it was also our fastest funded Kickstarter.
Yes, it was.
13 minutes. That was was an exciting day in which I got very little work done and mostly just sat here hitting F5 on the Kickstarter, going like, it's still happening, it's still going up. And then I went to bed, and it's like, oh, we've already hit 12 stretch goals. I'm like, what is happening today?
Never have I been so grateful for James Bell.
So yes,
absolutely.
oh god, I
Oh
love
my
James.
God.
Hey, Rich,
Big
remember,
fan of
I think it was the Werewolf 20 Kickstarter. Remember your power went out right when Werewolf was like on one of those big bumps
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle of the Kickstarter?
Yeah. Now, I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Rich, we need you to update this. Like,
I have no power. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was far more the Wild West then. So
this is the first Kickstarter that I've been a collaborator on, and I opened my other email the other day, my Kickstarter email, and I was like, oh god, I didn't realize that it emails you for every comment you get.
Oh yeah, every.
I was like, I have 650 emails from Kickstarter that
That's one of the reasons I had to stop, Dixie. Is that the ding for my phone was it would become something that I craved.
I'm a millennial. My phone doesn't make any
Ding,
sounds.
ding, ding. Yes, more messages.
People are lucky. People are lucky if my phone's on vibrate. Often it is just on silent, sitting face up, so I can see it if it goes off.
Speaking of Pavlovian responses.
Wow.
like that segue? That's a good one.
That was great.
I was going to go with actually, speaking of Kickstarters, after Exigence is done taking everyone's money, Exigence, I should say.
Exigence will be taking all of their money in the future.
Right.
So please save up some future money for Exigence.
Fair enough. You have to save the future money for. Wait, no, I'm lost. Max Mercer's involved, I'm sure, somehow. Anyway. But no, we are also prepping up for the next big Pugmire book, Squeaks in the Deep.
Beep, beep.
Yes.
Squeak.
For those who haven't heard about this yet, that's going to be the next big meaty kind of adventure book for both Pugmire and Monarchies of Mao that will allow you to play both rats and mice. And it covers the underneath, which is the underground area that actually connects both Pugmire and the Monarchies, although neither nation actually quite realizes that.
Also, the fact that people still go through the Fearful Forest means they definitely don't realize there's another way, or the other way is way worse.
I mean, the Fearful Forest will also probably eat you, but in a slightly less claustrophobic way. So at least you get some fresh air when you're being eaten in the forest.
It's got that go for it.
Right, yes. I mean, that's nice. Nice pine smell as you get devoured. But also, the other big thing is, as opposed to magic, mice and rats are going to have access to psionics. So this is going to be the first psionic rules for Pugmire, and unless something changes radically, maybe even the first psionic rules for 5e. They're still working on those. So yes, no, that's another thing I'm really excited about. I mean, we were happy with how Pirates of Pugmire went. But this is something that's a little different, and I'm really keen to see kind of how people gravitate to that and what they dig in that, because it's a different take on some things, and it's also a little more about the diaspora story that we touched on in bits and pieces in other Pugmire books, but this will be the first time we're going to really kind of dig into that and what it's like to live in the margins of other people's cultures. So that's going to be really, really fun, I think. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
And I just wanted to say that for everybody who's listening and watching this now, we will be talking about a lot of this same material tomorrow in the What's Up with Onyx Path panel at 11 a.m. Right? It's 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we got the announcements out so people have time to kind of speculate about them and come to those panels with more questions and thoughts.
Right.
So I've seen, for example, in the chat, some people are asking specific kind of questions, and Dixie's been saying, hey, come take those to the panels, because that's the time we're going to spend to really dig into some of those deeper things. We wanted to give all the announcements out now so that you can come to those panels ready to ask questions and talk.
Yeah, we're not going to dig into like, what's the next Chronicles bag, or like what's happening in World of Darkness right now, because we've got panels for that.
Right.
Same with Story Path, Scion God. Like, if you don't ask about Scion God, most of us here don't know as much about it, but you can probably ask the Scion team.
Right. It's the Scion book that comes after Demigod.
And they would,
it's God.
it's God. They'd be better to ask about that because I haven't looked at it.
And also, I mean, we have a handy brochure that's digital brochure this year. We're not doing a printed one, but we have a nice big 40-page brochure, and that's going to have all the stuff that we announced today are going to be on there, as well as links to actual plays of our various games, what places you can buy them, the backer kits gets them, so it's nice and convenient to actually, oh, that looks like a cool thing. You click on it and immediately start getting more information, or even start purchasing it or backing it or whatnot. So
It is heavily linked.
yes, I know because I checked them a couple of times.
Thank you, Eddie.
So yeah, no, if you haven't seen that, we'll definitely keep dropping the link around all weekends, but check out the brochure. It is definitely going to be very, very informative this year.
And that's the art. Again, my finger's gone. There it is. Now it's gone again. Go up this side, maybe. No, you can't even see it. Anyway, behind me is the art from the cover of the brochure.
Some of the art, a very tiny piece of the art.
Just the upper corner. So, all right. We're heading into the 40-minute mark. How are we doing? Do we have actually questions that we could jump into?
Let me flip through because we don't have too many that weren't very specific. Anyone with Chronicles questions, a lot of the answers to that are literally just going to be, it's up to Paradox. Same with World Darkness questions. We'll do what we can, but I don't think we're going to be announcing a Chronicles game this weekend.
Yeah, let me just underline. We've been saying this for a while, but it's always good to repeat it so people can get it, because I know a lot of people are very dedicated to their game line, whether that's a Chronicles, Exalted, or any of the World of Darkness 20th anniversaries. People have asked us probably every other day about, are you going to do Hunter the Reckoning 20th anniversary? Are you going to do Mummy 20th anniversary? Demon the Fallen 20th anniversary? All of those decisions are not in our hands.
Yep.
We're a licensee of Paradox. We have to pitch things to them. They have to approve those things. And if they don't, if for whatever reason they just say, nah, guys, not now. We can't do it. So you can ask, but it's going to be the same answer until we announce something. That's, I mean, that's really the way it is. We can't even discuss what did you pitch, because that's between us and the licensor Paradox. Can say that, like in the instance of Mage 20, longtime people said, aren't you going to do anything more? Aren't you going to do anything more? And we actually, we're waiting to hear from when they were able to say, yeah, you know what, you can do Tome of the Traditions. So great. That we could move forward, and we announced it, and here we go. Also for Werewolf 20, we have the Apocalyptic Record, which is our kind of follow through of all the. Well, Matthew, you could probably explain it better than I could, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's in part it's a summary of all of the meta plot of the prior 25 so years of Werewolf the Apocalypse, but it's not Beckett's Jihad Diary for Werewolf. I will say that it is more, well, actually, it's a difficult book to describe because it doesn't have the same sort of journalistic format of Beckett's. Right. A lot of tales told around the campfire, lots of songs, anecdotes. The werewolf or the Garou nation's history is very much oral tradition and so on. Then you have a lot of in-character arguing voices throughout Apocalyptic Record, covering events that have appeared in previous werewolf books, things like the Amazon War, things like, well, everything from the Amazon War to monkey wrenching to the fall of various tribes and so on. You've got all of that in Apocalyptic Record. It's a book that's divided up in terms of chapters by auspice. So you've got a predominant auspice view for each chapter, though it isn't strictly delineated by any means. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to co-develop with Leith Shields. We had some fantastic writers on it. It is currently off to Paradox for approval, so here's hoping they like what they see. But yeah, that will be the capstone for Werewolf 20, barring any possible stretch goal should we do a Kickstarter. So yeah, very much looking forward to the reception for that one, because I'm a big Werewolf the Apocalypse fan. It was the first World of Darkness game I got to write for, so it was nice to be able to co-develop the concluding part of 20th anniversary for Werewolf 2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we have had a couple questions. Flames Rising asks, what games are we all playing or running this weekend? You want to start, Rich?
Well, I'm actually playing in the aforementioned anime game
With me
Very
too.
with Dixie and with Eddie running it, and a couple of other wonderful players. We had a little pre-session just to get our feet wet with the system, and I think it's going to be a blast. There's a lot of energy there, a lot of cool stuff that could happen, and I'm going to punch something.
Because Rich is playing a boxer, not because Rich has a desire to punch things.
Right.
I have given my character steel nails, so I might stab something with my fingernails.
Excellent.
Nice.
That's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Lady Deathstrike in X-Men. I'm testing my Marvel knowledge. I don't
that's
have a
good.
great
Yeah.
Marvel knowledge.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right,
Well, I think-
X23. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's the only game that Eddie's running. I'm not
Yeah,
running
it
any
is.
games. I'm
It
just
is.
hanging out and running panels.
I have so many panels, so yeah.
Yeah. Matthew, what about you?
So games I am running, I will be running V5 tomorrow. It's a Cults of the Blood Gods themed game. Current players planned are, we've got Craig Austin from Red Moon Roleplaying, we've got Clara Herbal, who is one of my co-developers, co-writers on Vampire the Masquerade, among many other games. We have B. Dave Waters, who most people will know from LA by Night, and we also have Outstar, who most people will know due to her social media management for the World of Darkness in general.
Yep.
How early
So
is that
they will be the
game
players.
for B. Dave Walters?
Yeah, it's going to be very early for him. He has already apologized that he will be drinking a lot of coffee early on. So we're making sure his character is very peppy.
Okay, good.
And on Sunday, I'm going to be running They Came From Classified. On the schedule, it is in the place where They Came From Beyond the Grave is currently advertised. It's going to be on the Vorpal Tales channel.
Typical spies.
It is currently advertised as Beyond the Grave. But see, because it's classified, we used a different name.
Right.
It's
a cover
Always
story.
thinking. Very nice.
Yeah. And I'm running that game for a mixture of writers who were on Classified and writers who were on previous They Came From games. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We've got Kim Godwin, we've got Hiromi Kota. We have John Burke, we have Michael Barker, we have Tyler from Vorpal Tales as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. This will be our first chance to parade They Came From Classified out before an audience too. So yeah, those are my games.
Are you playing it all, Ian, or are you just hanging out?
I'm not playing. I would love to check out the anime game, but unfortunately the Trinity Continuum panel is running at the same time. So I think I can
Why
catch
did we do that?
I don't know. I think I can catch half an hour of it before I have to do my panel.
But you can come back afterward.
Right, yeah.
Because your panel's not like 4 hours long.
Yeah, because you're going like 3-4 hours. So
Yeah.
I should be able to catch most of it, just missing that chunk right near the beginning.
We won't do anything interesting.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That way you can see all the
Over
things
really
that Eddie
boring
changed
hour.
and didn't tell you about.
Right.
Terraria for Life has asked, what is each of our most looked forward to stream game this weekend? I'll go ahead and say, like, even though we've talked about Anima a lot, I've talked about Estes a lot, I think it's clear that I'm looking forward to those. Kind of a weird dark horse one is I'm looking forward to one of my favorite storytellers of all time, Tom Muir, running Arthurian Changeling the Lost for my spray part group, minus myself, because I couldn't make it happen with my timing. But I brought in Ever from Vorpal Tales, who is a wonderful human being, to take my spot. And if we do a sequel to it ever, hint, hint, Tom, I'll be happy to play the 5th Kith, because that's the other cool thing about this one, is that we're using it to showcase 5 of the Kiths from Kith and Kin. I reached out to Megan Fitzgerald and I asked her, like, hey, which ones of these do you think would work best during our Arthurian times? And so we have a Draconic, a Bearskin, a Riddle Seeker, and a Chevalier. And I am so excited to listen to Tom run that for a group of humans that I love playing with. So,
Awesome. Yeah.
What about y'all?
Well, I was looking forward to the Trinity panel, but I guess I'm not going to be able to see that. Oh.
Yeah. Putting together panels and games is like
I
an
know.
insanely evil Tetris game where
It
like
is,
you
it
burn
is.
your fingers and get shocks every time you try to change.
It happens. But no, I'm actually genuinely excited about the classified one because
Yeah.
I've had the privilege of working on actually I think every version of They Came From Now. Matthew, is that right?
All but one that we've not announced yet.
Right. Yeah. Except for that one, but otherwise I've worked on all the ones y'all know about. But I feel like classified is the one that's really hitting its stride. I feel like it's gonna be a nice, not only homage to the original movies, but it's a refinement of the engine and really nail what makes those spy movies fun and Byzantine. So I'm really excited to see if that plays out the way I think it looks on the manuscript when we look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's I think I don't know if it's still on there, but I know that we mentioned it and it's been an idea that I've loved since we ran the Scion Duel Kickstarter of Dragon and
Yes.
Mythos. Someone was talking about, and I
Yeah.
think they're playing a game of
Dragon
Scion,
versus Mythos.
but only using those two.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Chaz Calendar is running that.
yes, that I'd
Chaz
love to
runs
know how that
fantastic
goes.
Games. So yeah, they're running a Dragon Mythos Scion game, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing that because I haven't seen. I've seen both books, but I haven't seen the characters in action yet.
Yeah.
So I want to see what happens when they do that.
Plus, the flavor of that's going to be really interesting. Like
Yeah.
just Cthulhu and so the dragon backstory that we put together and how those two things mesh, I think is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Someone else just asked kind of randomly, like, could we have a video dedicated to the story path system mechanics? Maybe. I don't know why not, but let's talk about that internally.
Yeah, we talk about it internally, and that's also I know Danielle and I have done some kind of designy videos on the Twitches to pass. So I know Danielle's watching, so maybe we can talk about.
Speaking of Danielle,
organized.
question specifically for Eddy. Could you please explain how scale works?
I'll explain it on the Trinity panel.
Very well.
You're not on the Trinity panel.
It works really, really well.
Eddy, you're not on that panel. You're playing.
Well, then I
Anima.
guess it's not going to happen. That's so
Oh,
sad.
good
Oh
for
no.
little
There is a story path panel, and
There's
I
story path
believe that is a great place to ask that question.
we will dedicate an amount of time towards scale, I'm sure.
Let's see. Any more questions? Danielle's upset that the Anima stream is happening during the Trinity panel. Someone Ian has suggested that the Trinity panel should be the Trinity devs reacting to the Anima playtest.
It's a watch along now.
I will look at that. So someone did point out, this is just a total housekeeping thing, but our names in the boxes on the thing are like in white with a black outline, and they are incredibly hard to read. So I don't know what's going on with that font, but we'll figure that out for future panels. Because yes, it is hard to read. You're absolutely correct. I think that's all the questions that we've had. People are excited for classified.
Yeah, that's good to see. Thank you very much. And should say that in the They Came From panel, are we going to be waiting for the They Came From panel to talk about the other They Came From game that is in the works?
If it's in
Shall we
the
wait for then, or do you want to do it on the WhatsApp?
It is not in the brochure.
It's not in the brochure.
Oh, it's a secret.
Because we only just started it.
Yes, and we did want to say something and give classified a little chance to everybody could have their I knew it was they meant it when they said it was classified moment.
Mm.
And then I think that we can lead into that.
Someone did ask.
All right, we'll wait. We'll wait
during the con, and I think we just decided that there will be more announcements during the con.
Yes,
so.
Whether you like it or not, there will be. They'll be scattered through, so you're gonna have to watch everything.
Yes, very important.
Pick up on every single one.
Yeah, and there's actually a riddle that goes all the way through. If you listen to every third word that Matthew says, with every fourth syllable that Eddy says, there's a clue to what
spells the name Lazarus, the Cappadocia.
The real clan for Rasputin.
Are you trying to imply that we're scripted right now?
That is not true.
Because if so, I think we should
Worst
hire better
script
writers.
ever.
What is happening?
Both Ian and I are having strokes.
It has only been 51 minutes with y'all, and it's already devolved into this. What's happening?
Well,
We have a
that's
whole week
exactly
after
how
this.
the Pathcast works, isn't it?
It is a Pathcast episode. People
Exactly.
are calling you Cursed Rich. Just so you know, you have been deemed cursed in chat.
Because of this?
And because of the sounds you were just making, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
that.
Platform.
You sound like
Talking
a
more
corrupted
backwards.
Sim. Sims 4, the Cthulhu
I was in
expansion.
Twin Peaks. I don't know if you remember that. I was in the Red Room.
You say remember it,
Yeah, I
I've
was
never
about-
seen Twin Peaks. I've never seen Twin Peaks.
Yeah. I was about to start talking about Lost Highway. I like the bit with the little man saying, that's your wife on the phone. How do you know that's my wife on the phone? I'm in the kitchen with her right now. And he just smiles. But anyway, what else? What else do we have? We also have lots of panels taking place, as we've been mentioning. I'll be on the Vampire the Masquerade panel tomorrow ahead of my game. I'm on the They Came From panel the day after that, where, as mentioned, we'll be making some announcements. There's lots of panels going on throughout this convention, so please do check them out. Please, as I mentioned, for people who have joined this at this late point in this particular panel, if you have a few hours to spare over the weekend, please take part in a game. You can just go onto the website, sign up to a game, and play something new. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun, a new experience. And what's more, and we will keep beating this drum, there's a charity component to this convention.
Yes.
Even if all you can spare is a few dollars, that's still gratefully appreciated. We've got a target on the website that we would love to hit, but if we can exceed it, that's even better. And every single time you sign up to a game, a portion of what you're paying for is also you're paying towards charities. So it is for a good cause. And we would love it if we could burst through our target early on, and everything else is just gravy for the rest of the weekend.
Someone did ask if there was a way to donate straight to the charity. Is there a link for that, or is that possible? I mean, you could always donate to the Banana Group, but I don't know if you could do it through us.
That I couldn't tell you.
I'm
The
not
Madonna Group does have a donate link right on the front page of their website.
Yeah, so
There
if
you
you
go.
would prefer to just do that, I think that the tips for the ST still go to the ST. I think it's just the cost of the tickets that goes to the charity.
Right.
And not all of them. Part of that still goes to the ST. I had quite a few of our freelancers when I was first trying to get people to sign up to run games. They were like, "Oh, I don't want to charge for this," and I was like, "Charity."
Yes.
They were like, "I don't need to charge." Like,
Percentage.
Yep. So yeah, no.
We would
Very,
like to help
very
our friends at Bodana out if possible. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie just linked it in the chat, thebadonagroup.org.
There is a
and I
donate
will-
button that takes you directly to a PayPal account that you can donate directly to, so it goes right to them.
Yep, and for people listening to this on the Pathcast, I will put it in the show notes.
Excellent.
Yeah, because that donate button's going to be evergreen.
Yeah, exactly. Please just give them money if you want to. You don't have to give us money. You just give them money. But also, we do have a bunch of really cool bundles and stuff going on this weekend, which I guess we should also announce during this panel or talk about. I posted them in our Discord. But if you look at, first of all, of course, we have Aberrant for sale. It's in hardcover at Studio 2. And then PDF, POD at Drive-Thru. We have a bunch of book screens and dice at half off on indiepressrevolution.com. We have some Dystopia Rising and select Pugmire and Monarchies PDFs in the post-apocalypse sale at Drive-Thru RPG. There's a bundle deal on Dystopia Rising, and if you look for OPPCon as a keyword on Drive-Thru RPG, there's 14 different OPPCon 2021 PDF bundles on a bunch of different RPGs and fiction.
14 of them.
14 different bundles. There's
Just clued to this con.
There are many worlds.
Oh wait, should I put up my other graphic now?
Uno Path.
But yeah, no. So I am super excited about that, and those will be running. I mean, Aberrant will be running forever. We're just gonna sell Aberrant forever and ever. But yeah, so everything else will.
No, we're gonna sell Aberrant until 2028, and then
it becomes obsolete.
Right.
Well, then we'll need a new edition, which pushed the timeline further.
Oh, I
And
see.
if you start now, you have the same 7 years to work on it.
Ian, did you just announce the next edition
Yes.
of the Trinity Continuum?
Aberrant 3rd edition is set in 2048.
So the near future.
That was not a real announcement. I feel like I need to say that just in case. It was not real. That
Or
didn't happen.
is it? We're the guys who did Classified, remember?
Okay, fine, Rich. If you say it's a real announcement, I can't stop
I'm
you.
saying it's not or it is. We don't know.
It's like Schrodinger's announcement.
Yeah.
It may or
Okay.
may not be
The
real
announcement was
until
both
it is.
live and dead at the same time.
All right, we have like 4 minutes left. If anybody wants to ask any more questions, get them in right now. Otherwise, we're gonna go raid a stream.
What does that even mean?
It means that our
streamer people?
stream takes all of our people and puts them on their stream.
Oh.
And Purple Tales is playing Contagion Chronicle right now, which we are super excited about.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, let's throw some people their way.
Cool.
Have some people. Hooray.
Sounds good.
Where would we go to find the brochure? I can link the brochure again.
Okay.
Maybe, or Ian can. Ian probably has links handier than I do. I
I've-
Google things.
Matthew has constantly been saying, hey, someone's going to throw a link in the chat. So I've been throwing links in the chat.
Oh, no, I've been watching.
So if you want to put a link in, please, by all means.
Although you've often been putting links in the chat, like, right as I, like, find the link.
He's
'Cause you
just
are
that
faster
fast.
than me.
Eddie
Look at that! Look at that! Eddie Gazumption.
Just
hate all
sneaks
of
in
you.
a little while while you were arguing.
So,
So Dixie had to do it.
Low blow,
I'm
Eddie.
gonna
Three-
delete your comment because I'm a
Damn
mod.
it! No.
No.
Who gave you moderator
Three
powers?
minutes.
Talk over them, Matthew.
3 minutes to ask questions. 3 minutes to ask questions. If anyone has got any questions before this panel ends, now is the time to ask. Just
can be
preface
silly
with
questions.
About
questions.
anything.
Yeah.
We may even answer it.
Oh, if anybody's in the Onyx Path Discord, just so y'all know, I'm doing an after party on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We're gonna be playing some Jackbox right here on this Twitch.
Mhm.
I have a thing pinned in the Onyx Path Discord and then the con channel, and I think in the main general channel. If you want to submit any custom Onyx Path quips for Quiplash, please do so. I will be putting them all into a pack Sunday afternoon.
And if you're in our Discord and you don't have access to the Onyx Path channels, just type !OPBCon and that'll give you permissions to view all that stuff.
And it'll turn your name a pretty blue.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
Weird Trinity, we talked about it earlier, but Trinity Aether is like a Victorian set War of the Worlds type Trinity game. So you will see more about that. as we go.
Steampunk, H.G. Wells, Dorian Gray, that kind of fun.
Invisible Man.
Mangani wants to know, Rich, if you have any other cool hats besides the bear hat to wear. This
You'll have to watch the anime.
oh no, did you get a
That's the
Cyberpunk
announcement
hat?
everyone really wants to know. What is Rich going to wear in his game?
Well,
So everyone else is going to be really, really cool, and I'm going a different direction.
I just love the fact that like when we were casting for Essence last year, and we were like, let's give Rich something fairly easy. I don't want to make him like deal with
'Cause
something
he's
like
not
the
smart.
sorcery. Well, no,
That's
because
fair.
you have 8
Yeah.
million things you're doing at any given time. And I was like, I just want to give him something kind of easy that he doesn't have to like think about it too much. And we gave you a bear lunar, and you rolled the freaking bear hat, and I was like,
You never know what you'll find in my house.
I didn't know you had a bear hat. Like, what is
No,
happening?
I didn't know until I said, "Hey, do we have a bear hat?" And my son went, yeah, I got a mask."
Oh my God.
Because he did a video where he was being chased through our yard while trying to sing. They were supposed to, during the COVID, do their songs for chorus into the thing, and he had his brother in a bear outfit chase him around while he was singing this sonata or whatever it was.
Does it look like the costume from that bit of The Shining? You know, in the
I don't know, it's a little more
ding,
du-
ding.
a little more Donnie Darko, I think.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, it is 5 p.m. So I would like to thank you all for joining us for the opening ceremonies. I hope this felt properly ceremonial.
It did not.
It's
I now
closest
declare
we're
this
gonna get,
convention
kids.
open.
Convention is open. It's been open. There was a wonderful cooking show that started everything, and I think for the rest of the next couple of days, please have some fun with the games that we've got here. Have some fun with asking people questions and just trying out, as Matthew said, try out some new things. If you always want to know how a game plays, this is your chance.
Absolutely.
And of course, we've got more panels, more games. We're on like 5 different channels. Keep an eye on the schedule. If you have any questions, feel free to poke people on the Discord or just reach out to us on Twitter. We'll try to get you links to things. We'll be around. So I will see you all back at 8 for the Exalted panel. And Rich, do you want to sign us off with the with the words?
All right. Yeah. Many worlds, one path.